apparently, so we got the crescent moon just rising. The fainter one above the moon is Mercury, I think, and Venus is the brighter one. I just happened to see the Night Sky News with Dr. Becky on YouTube, and she was talking about this a couple days ago. Yeah. And I just happened to wake up and I look over and I see the moon coming up, and I'm like, oh. Mars could be about there, but I don't think it's showing up. There is one more there. Alright, cool. We saw it. And it's before sunrise, obviously. About 5 o'clock in the morning. Just happened to wake up and see it. It was super cloudy last night. I thought I was possibly going to get rained on, but the forecast said no rain, and here I am in a wash. You can't see that either. And then all of a sudden I wake up at one point and I look up and I can see all the stars, and oh man, I could see, I could see the Milky Way. I could see, it was just incredibly bright, all of the stars, because the moon wasn't up. Right? From seeing no stars to seeing so many stars I couldn't pick them all out. It was crazy. Okay, I'm going to take one more shot of this now that I got my glasses on. And I can see the stars, but I can't see. But I think the fainter one right above the crescent moon is Mercury. The brighter one is Venus, the bright morning star. Okay, now, I'm not sure if these are going to show up or not. There's one, a faint one kind of in the middle of the screen. It looks red to the eye, not to the phone. That's Mars. But something I learned from watching some of those videos and then just using a star app, all the planets are in the same plane. And so if you find one or two, they all are going to be, like in the same line. It's just a matter of when they come up, and then they all follow the same line. Not because they're following a line, it's just that the Earth's rotation puts them in the same line, and they are in the same disk in their own orbits. So once you know where to start looking, you can start picking them out. Alright, 6:15. The crescent moon is not visible anymore. The sun should be, I'm thinking that's the brightest spot right about there. The valley's just coming to life. Had 13 bugs just fly in my nose and one in my eye, so that's got to be a sign of life coming. It's just starting to brighten up over here. This is the kind of thing I'd love to be able to set up a GoPro on a time lapse and just see the sun coming up and painting the shadows. But since I have no GoPro, can't do that. I should say I have 3, but none are here. It's kind of cool to see the differences, the contrasts and stuff. Different colors of rocks and minerals. If I could go back to 20-year-old me, well, I don't know, how often do you get a job doing geology? It would have been interesting to learn that stuff, though. Ooh, I could get geology and work for NASA. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, anyway. 20-year-old me wanted to be a fighter pilot. It seemed reasonable at the time. Yeah, okay, I'm going to start loading up here. I saw these last night and I just wanted to get a shot of them. I don't think these blooms even closed up overnight. The bush itself looks completely dead, and then you get these little bits of green leaf and big old bloom sticking out the end of the dead stalk. It's crazy. Half the stuff is loaded already, just got to break the bed down and stick it on, and here comes the sun. It's 6:38. So totally depends which hill the sun is behind, right?
There's a lot of days I wouldn't even be out of bed before sunrise, and here I got shorts on already. It is a lot warmer here than it has been the last few days, so that's nice. I think I'll take this off just before I roll. So, note for today, I did not wear the jacket and I didn't wear the face mask last night, which usually I sleep with those. It's that much warmer. And I almost could have gone without the sweatpants, but I kept thinking it was going to get really cold overnight, and it just didn't. So, yay, California. It's just interesting contrasts. Man, am I ever glad I replaced that rear wheel and got new brakes on it, because I am using all of my brakes coming down this hill. Yeah, we're dropping about, I think it was 2,000 feet and 10 miles or something like that. It's pretty quick drop. My ears just popped a few seconds ago. So it's like you're in an airplane almost. Yeah, okay, let's go. Okay, yonder trail. It's pretty epic down here. Oh yeah, we're below 1,000 feet. I don't remember if I got that on camera or not. Still dropping. Alright, Death Valley National Park, exploring the Badlands. Okay, so this is where we're at now. We are here. We're not going to do all that. Oh, there's another road on the other side too. This far as a mile. There's a trail down here. It almost looks like they cleared a path here, and there's a path along the bottom. paver up here and pave this road, huh? Wow. It just like clicked. I was like, wait, they paved this. This isn't concrete even. Yeah, oh man. So they had to pick a spot, level off the top of it, grind it down nice and flat. Wow. In addition to everybody's stickers. So you can look. No smoking, no dogs, no drones, no bicycles. Oh, glad I didn't take that picture. Okay, we're coming into Furnace Creek, part of the Death Valley area, and all of a sudden I realized there's trees growing. So this creek has some water potentially. In fact, I saw a little bit of water on the side of the road. So when it does rain, it'll get to here. It just kind of stood out. I was like, wow. Because there hasn't been anything bigger than little bushes up until now. So that's kind of cool. Had to get a shot of that. And yeah, I just had somebody flag me over. Tommy Winchester, guy in the white truck. Nice to meet you. Happy travels. Thank you very much. Death Valley 49ers Gateway. Through this natural gateway, the Death Valley 49ers, more than 100 immigrants from the Middle East, or Midwest, sorry. And that marker next to the SUV is sea level. We're at 0 feet, and yep, all downhill from here. And then uphill again. Okay, we're below sea level. Normally you'd need a submarine to do that, but this time we'll do it on a bicycle. That gray patch is a dry lake bed. I'm amazed how much vegetation is on this end, but there's kind of a creek that flowed into here from somewhere. And then they've got all these palm trees here, so they must have set up a dam or something to catch some of the water. Pretty crazy. It's kind of surreal. Okay, I gotta get moving here. Elevation about minus 190 feet. Parks has a visitor center up there. I'm gonna see if I can fill up my water, and there's a gas station here. Gas is between $8.15 and $8.63 a gallon. Also, there's a Coke machine and a cashier, so I might be able to get a Coke over there. I'm gonna fill up the water first, then come back. Yeah. Also, I think I got Wi-Fi or internet, so I can upload the video from yesterday. I just hit the ranger station at the entrance of Death Valley. We're on the south end, and filled up my water. In fact, I got 2 gallons, so I grabbed a gallon. I had a jug, so I filled it up, refilled all my water bottles, then took that back and filled up another gallon. And while I'm sitting there, I realized I had cell phone coverage here, so I'm uploading the video from last night that didn't get uploaded. And I started riding away. I thought it was finished, and then I'm on the edge of this little kind of camp or town or something like that, where the gas station was for $8 a gallon. And I'm like, oh, I thought I was done, and the video isn't finished uploading yet. So I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, I know a half an hour either way isn't probably going to make a lot of difference, but considering I was on the road at 7 o'clock this morning, I hate sitting still, because now it's a quarter to 11. And they had the sign or the weather app up or whatever, a little digital sign. It was 88 degrees at the ranger station. So I'm like, okay, it's going to get hotter. I know it's going to get hotter. I need to get going. I'm looking at this thing. Okay, 94%, 95%. Come on. All right, so I think it's done. We'll go now. Okay, I'm about 300 feet below sea level now. And we're going to drop down a little bit more. I just wanted to get this shot from this angle since I got the sun in my back finally. And it's the dry lake bed out there. It actually does feel different here. I don't know. course, it's my first real day of being warm since I left Texas. I mean, it was getting to the point when I left Texas, I was looking at my cold weather gear like maybe I don't need it. And then my water bottle froze a couple nights, so I'm glad I brought it. But yeah, now it's like in the 80s and 90s, and I'm used to 4,000 feet, so being below sea level, it does. I notice I feel kind of weird. So, and hot. So let's get going. All right, sit rep. It's about 11:30 and it's hot. And like I've thought about this on this trip a few times, most of the things I've seen on this trip I've never seen before. I've crisscrossed most of this area on different trips and adventures, but I've never gone this way. And now that I've been here, I can say, well, I don't have to go back there if I don't want to. It's interesting. I mean, I'll probably never bike through here again. That would be stupid. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm approximately 324 feet below sea level. I'll get a screenshot. I just realized I haven't done that yet. So on the GPS, I can do a screenshot. It shows elevation. And I've kind of been rolling up and down. You can see the little dips there. But that's the lake bed, so that's basically flat. And we're going to climb out. I'm just less than 10 miles from my turn point now. And I got to climb about 300 feet, so that's going to put me really close to sea level again, where I turn, thereabouts. And then we'll be more or less going, hopefully not directly over that. There's probably a pass. And we'll work our way back towards China Lake and Ridgecrest. Not all today, unless I see something really epic. So far, no black lizards. That's what the lady at the bike shop said. If you see the black lizard, that means you're in major trouble. It's your mind playing a trick on you. There is no black lizards out here, so if you see a black lizard, you're in trouble. She didn't really say what to do after that. I talked to the park ranger. Oh, I don't know if I got that or not either. The park ranger, where I got the water at the park station, ranger station, she was able to refund me part of the money because there was a lower fee, but the kiosk doesn't have a bicycle option. So she gives me a refund. It went back on my credit card. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I think it's still $15, but that's good for 7 days. So in the future, if I ever come back, yeah, I could plan on camping and spending some time here. I don't know if I would want to or not. But I remember I was joking with her. I'm like, man, I hope I can get through here today at that price. And she's like, no, you got 7 days. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. So while I was there, though, I asked about the snakes. And because, you know, I've had people mention the Mojave Greens, which will chase you, which on a bicycle, I don't know if I can go fast enough to outrun a snake. Now, snakes don't run, so I don't know how that works. She's like, normally the Mojave Greens aren't in Death Valley, they're on the outskirts. So I'm safe here. It's when I leave that I'm going to have trouble. But she said the other snakes will typically leave you alone, so it's just watch out for the green ones. So the green snakes and the black lizards. That's everything I know. So let me leave before I forget that. All right, get going. Okay, 3.5 miles from the turn point. Now we get to climb about 300 feet. Which seems kind of cruel after I've been just cruising along for the last 20 miles or so. Also, I had to stop and look. I don't see them, but there is military jets above. I mean, airliners don't do circles like that. I can hear them buzzing around, but don't see them. All right, put on my game face and blast up the hill here. Okay, we made it. Wow. Yeah, I got 2 miles to the turn, and I think right in the center there's kind of a gap. I think that's where the highway is that I'm going to take. So I got a little bit more climb, and then we drop down to the junction. Now I got a tailwind. I don't think I had a tailwind down on the bottom. That feels pretty nice. Okay, it's about 12:30. We are definitely through Death Valley. There is other roads and other ways, and we could go see more of it, but basically we're done. This sign here, Beatty, Nevada, that's where I meant to turn. So what the plan was going to be, if I would have stayed in Nevada longer, I would have gone to Beatty and come across this road anyway, and basically just touched the north edge of Death Valley. As it turns out, I got to ride all the way through it. So I don't know if that's bonus points or just stupidity or dumb luck or something like that. But anyway, so I'm glad I got to do that. That was a good experience. Guess we can say that the solar bike survived Death Valley. That was kind of cool. So yay. It's about lunchtime. I think I'm going to stop here. There's not much for shade anywhere. We do have some cloud cover, so that's going to slow down the solar just a little bit. Okay, we're still in part of the park. This is Stovepipe Wells. Little general store here. Gas is only $6.34 here for a regular instead of $8 where the other one was. They got some neat little exhibits here. I'm not going to walk around too much. I'm just kind of, I saw cold drinks. I figured I better stop and get something. Old fire truck and covered wagon over there. Looks like they got cabins that you can rent here or something. And a delightful RV park. Yeah, a whole bunch of picnic tables over there. I guess you could have a lot of camping over there. Not much for cover here. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 90 degrees or so. I've got more or less a tailwind pushing me down the road, which helps a lot. I haven't really started climbing yet, but I think we're about to. I think I had 10 miles. Yeah, in fact, I can see it up ahead. There's about 10 miles of level, and then 10 miles we're going to make about 4,000 feet. So it's going to be brutal. Get up as high as I can today, and then set up camp and push on tomorrow. Chip away at it. It's been so cold for so long. All of a sudden I get to the heat, which normally I do good in, but I'm really feeling it today. So yeah, keep pushing the fluids. It's almost one of those infinity shots. Long straight road, and then at the very end it's going to turn left, kind of through a pass. It's one of those cruel tricks when you're tired. The part that looks like it's a downhill is nearly level. I kept letting off pedaling and I would coast to a stop. I kept thinking I was checking my brakes to see if one of them was pulling. It's like, no, I'm actually going uphill still. So only at the very dip where there's a car there is a little downhill there, but most of the rest of that is actually level or uphill. And then you get to here and it's definitely uphill for, I don't know, the next 10 miles probably. So I'm looking at it from the bottom. I'm like, okay, I'll coast down, I'll catch my breath, and then I'll zip up. And it's like, oh no. Where I got to where I thought the bottom was, I was already tired. I'm like, this sucks. So I'm experimenting here. When I found the piece of plastic conduit pipe, the longer piece, oh, I'm zoomed in still. The longer piece, I cut it in half so that it kind of reinforces the panel so it doesn't flop around so much. And then I had a shorter piece, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to just throw that away. So I kept it, and just now I'm like, oh, that would be about right. So get the second panel up in the sun while I'm stopping and huffing and puffing, and that'll help. It's still really hazy, but we're getting, not very good actually, about 1.2 to the battery, so it's kind of counterproductive almost to stop, except I'm tired. But the amount of time I would have to stop to recharge to make it worth stopping, if I can keep riding, I might as well keep riding, kind of thing, because then I'm like, well, it's going to be, what time is it now? It's almost 3, so I'm going to ride for another hour and stop. So I'm not even going to get to the top of the hill probably. Hoping to find something slightly less desolate than this, though. Thinking about it, those campsites back at what's it, Stovepipe or whatever, I should have probably stopped there. It looked like they might have even had showers, I'm not sure. But I'm like, oh no, I gotta keep going, it's only 2 o'clock. Yeah. Anyway. And all the extra water, now I'm ridiculously heavy. I'm drinking it, but I'm like, well, don't want to waste it. Although, thinking about it, you know, this would be the thing. A place like Death Valley, I forget where I'm at now. If I would have been really thinking, well, then again, I didn't take the route I was supposed to take, right? But if I would have really spent some time looking, because Death Valley is a national park, they would have a good website. So I could say, okay, where can I fill up my water bottles? Where can I actually set up camp, right? If I would have done a little more research on that, I could have come through here with probably fill up my water bottles, but don't bring the extra gallon kind of thing. So, but then again, stick to my route would have been a good trick too. I often hear it said, you can't really judge the hill by how it looks on the camera. And honestly, even from the bottom, it didn't look this bad. But oh man, the bottom 4 miles was rated at 4%. Oh, military jets overhead again. I have not yet seen one of them, but they're making a lot of noise. Anyway, it's 4:30. I've given it my all. I pretty much sacked the batteries. I stopped a couple times trying to let the battery recharge, and it's just too hazy. The sun is too low, and if I stop for an hour, then it'll be way too late, you know. So what I got is there's this little road here. I found it on the GPS. When I was just about ready to die, I started looking closer, and okay, there's a mile, or like 1 mile away, right? Okay, I can make it there. And then 3 or 4 times later, I've been walking most of this hill the last couple miles, just pushing it. The bike has a walk assist. I mentioned that before. It pulls about 1 amp, and it goes about 2.5 miles an hour. Also, I sound kind of raspy, so sorry. Yeah, so that's actually been working, because with me off of the bike and me pushing, and then it doing its little 2 amps or 1 amp or whatever, it's enough to get us up the hill. I've done that a few times. Yeah, I could have camped at the bottom of the hill, thinking about it. That sure would have made more sense. And then made arrangements to leave the trailer there and biked from the bottom instead of from the top. It doesn't make much difference. Yeah, I was like, well, it's only 2 o'clock. I wanted to keep pushing. I didn't realize, honestly, how steep this hill was. You know, I'm like, oh, that's, you know, I've got 10 miles of hill and 10 miles of level. Didn't fully appreciate it, so yeah, anyway. All right, sit rep. I recorded a really long explanation and the phone filled up. So I deleted those clips. I'm going to do the shorter version. We are camped, almost legally this time. That'll be details for later because I keep making these clips too long. The trailer hitch is breaking. I've known about it all day. I've been trying to think about a better solution. And I was kind of looking, could I get it to the next town? No, I cannot. So, thinking about it from the point of view of some of the training they give us in the military, it's kind of like, you know, triage is first aid. You know, which guy lives, which guy dies. You don't have time to fix everybody sometimes, so you just figure out which ones can you save so that you don't lose more people. Okay, that's maybe not the best scenario for this, but the mindset is sort of the same. So what I came up with, I'm not in an emergency. I'm not going to die. I'm camping. I just can't leave the way it is, okay? So I'm like, okay, now I can slow down. So the first thing, set the panels into the sun so that the battery is charged for tomorrow. That gives me options. If I've got a battery, I can drop the trailer, put the battery on the bike, and I could ride down or up. I'm halfway up the hill. There's a campsite down the hill, and there's a ranger station up the hill. So I've got options there. Okay, so I'll think about that a little bit tomorrow. I don't have to figure it out today. So stage 1, get the bike charged so I have options. Stage 2, I'm going to start picking through all my gear and sorting first, because what I'm likely going to do, leave the trailer, take the bike, take a backpack, take as much water as I can carry, and the food that I have, ride to the next town. Because if I can do it myself, it's going to cost a lot less than having a tow truck or something come out to get me. That's going to cost a fortune. Okay, I can go get a U-Haul van myself for a couple days, and it'll be less than a tow truck. Okay, I'm not that far away. You know, the U-Hauls are $20 a day plus miles. Well, I'm not going 1,000 miles, so it shouldn't be too bad. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. A van would be plenty. The problem is going to be, today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's probably a two-day bicycle ride to town, or an hour and a half driving kind of thing. So I'm kind of working on that. I think the best thing I can do though is in the morning go find a park ranger, ask what they have for ideas. They may have an idea I haven't thought of. Okay, so that'll be the first thing. If need be, I might be able to transport this down to a better campsite that I could leave it. I don't want to go back down the hill, but I think I could get down the hill with it the way it is. I just don't want to leave with a big crack in the hitch. So if it comes to that, I think I can get it down the hill. There's a nice campsite down there. Fine. Okay. Then we can reevaluate after that. Yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. It's annoying, but I can see the problem, and it was something that was going to break eventually. So, I mean, it lasted 1,000 miles. That's not bad. After this, now that I'm in warm weather, I can unload a pretty sizable amount of stuff. There's cold weather gear I don't need anymore. And I've got some other stuff I can mail home. So I'm either going to mail it back to my place, or I can mail it forward to my dad's place. Haven't decided yet. And then, by the time I get there, I might need something again. Or then I can mail it home, or I can, make arrangements and they can just mail the box back home when I get home, kind of thing. So we'll be able to lighten the load a little bit. But, for now, I've got food, I've got plenty of water. I've got more water than I've had ever on the trip. I'm probably as prepared as I've ever been. So, yeah, we're not in a terrible place. I mean, at least I'm not down in the valley. It's not as hot here as it is down there. That was kind of one of the reasons I didn't stop in the campsite down there. I'm above 1,000 feet, so it is cooler up here. I get a breeze. Down in the valley, it's Death Valley for a reason. You feel it down there. So anyway, nope, still not homesick. Yeah, this is part of the adventure. I mean, if everything worked, you wouldn't have much of a story to tell. So it is what it is. So all right, I'm going to stop talking before I fill the phone up again. So as always, thanks for your support, and stay tuned for the next one. Should be an interesting next couple days. Bye for now. Okay, I guess that's it for now. I just wanted to add one little clip on the end because I keep filling up the phone. I did 41 miles today, so that's not terrible considering it was through Death Valley. I'm going to miss saying that. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks as always, and I'll keep you all posted. Okay, that's it. Bye.